Peace, light, and love. My name is Kristen with a D for those that aren't familiar with me, and welcome to Only One You. I am journeying through generational healing to a place of generational being, and it is my encouragement and desire that you journey along with me, that you identify where you are on your path, you decide whether or not it's where you intend to be, and you make sound choices presently that will impact your future. Okay. So far, I've been simply sharing encouragements about how important it is to know yourself, how important it is to be able to identify your own energy. Now we're going to start moving forward into identifying the energy around you as well. Okay. There is a such thing as natural energy. Unfortunately, we have been programmed and distracted and kind of taken away from our more natural state, and it has caused us to not be aware of who we are relative to the universe, relative to creation. You know, we wake up in the morning and the first things on our mind is, what do we have to do for the day? Who do we have to see? Where do we have to go? You know, a lot of stuff that in proper place is significant. It is important. However, it's not the most important thing relative to your life. Like, I'm in a position of, I wake up in the morning and I'm identifying, okay, where's the sun right now? The sun is in Libra. Where is the moon right now? The moon is waxing in Aquarius, moving into a full moon in Aries. Like, what does that mean? And as I identify the universal creation energy around me, I can better decide how to navigate myself and my day. Okay, an example of that is we're currently in waxing gibbous in Aquarius. The moon is waxing. That means it is growing in illumination, getting closer to the full moon. And then after the full moon is going to decrease in illumination, returning to a new moon state. It is super significant, super important for you to know and understand all of these different phases. That's astrology, and that's zodiacs, and that's this, and that's a lot. Don't you know it's 12? Like, yeah, when I sat down, I'm not going to lie, I was a little overwhelmed and a little intimidated initially because it is a lot of information. However, when I decided to not be fearful of the information, to gather the knowledge and to apply it where it applies and release what doesn't apply, it became a whole lot easier to comprehend and a whole lot easier to apply moving forward. Okay? Anytime the moon is waxing, it's a time for nurturing. The moon is going to start off in a new moon every month. Okay? Every month has a new moon. And during that new moon is a time for you to plant seeds. Okay, after you plant seeds, what do you do naturally after you plant seeds? You water them, you nurture them, you tend to them, you weed out the things that aren't serving that particular plant or those particular seeds that were planted. You do whatever it is necessary for that plant to take root and to grow so that you can produce a harvest, so that you can produce fruit and receive your harvest. You can gather your harvest after it's produced its fruit. And then the cycle starts over again. So naturally, there is energy every single month that allows you to plant new seeds. It allows you to nurture seeds. It allows you to celebrate and express gratitude for fruit as it's coming into maturity. It's a time of harvest. Every month gives you also the opportunity to refine, reflect what worked, what didn't work. I tried this particular thing this month and I got this type of result. Not really rocking with that. I'm not going to take that in. I'm not going to take that with me into the next new moon cycle. I'm going to leave that here, releasing it. It is literally a cycle that happens every single month. And by identifying where we are universally, energetically, in that natural cycle, and by making choices to move in sync with that cycle, you set yourself up for what people are now calling manifestation power. Like, that's how you manifest. You manifest by being intentional with the energy around you. You manifest by identifying, now is the time for me to nurture these seeds, not necessarily weed out what doesn't work for me. Now is the time for me to nurture it so that it can grow more. Versus me feeling like now is the time for me to plant seeds. Like, no, you have to know where you are energetically or universally. And for those that struggle with it spiritually, you have to know where you are in this cycle. You have to understand what season you're in so that you are making choices that are going to benefit you as you move into the next season. If there's anything we all know and understand, is that seasons come and seasons go. There's always going to be a change in season. Really practically, you're not going to go out and necessarily start a brand new garden in the dead smack middle of winter, because that's not the season to plant seeds. Obviously, there are some exceptions. There are some things that can be planted in that time. And, quite frankly, you have to know what it is that you're intending to plant and what type of fruit you're looking to get in order to get the best outcome from whatever it is you're planting. All right. Point is, where we live in a natural cycle. Every day we exist. Like, when you were born into a natural energetic cycle. Shit didn't start when you got here. You were born into a system already. The key is identifying where you are in that system so that you can identify where it is you're going. And stop just running into walls, or, for a long time I experienced a lot of frustration and discouragement because I was not achieving the goals I really wanted to achieve. Well, I was operating outside of season. And so to kind of bring it back, right now we're waxing. This is the time. The moon is waxing. This is the time for nurturing and for tending to your garden, for tending to any plants or seeds or whatever it is that you are focused on. Your focus is your intention. And when I'm focused on my children, I'm intentional in caring for them. I'm intentional in feeding them. I'm intentional in cleansing them. I'm intentional in loving on them and giving them solid education, or all of that kind of stuff. So now is the time for nurturing. You might not feel as if you're getting the results that you want right now, but now is not the time to reflect on whether or not you're getting your desired results. Now is the time to put in effort and to not give up. Now is the time to overcome obstacles, because during the waxing phases, obstacles are going to come up. Distractions are going to come up. When you're actually gardening, gardeners, farmers, whatever you want to call it, they all identify and deal with seasons of pest. They deal with challenges with the weather. Like, things come up and you have to be intentional in responding according to what's coming up, but not giving up just because something got hard. Okay. you have to know where you are in your season. I'm going to always say that. I'm going to keep on saying that, because you might run into an obstacle and want to feel and want to assume that obstacle means don't keep going. That obstacle means this is a dead end. The obstacle means whatever. When in all actuality, it might be time for you to press through, push past it. The last couple of videos I did was referring to going through your storm, going through your challenges. Like, the only way to get to the other side is to actually go through it. So there are going to be times where you are going to have to actually go through. You're going to have to press. You're going to have to be intentional in remaining positive during those challenging times. Okay, this is one of those seasons. And to kind of be a little bit more specific, we're waxing. The moon is waxing right now in Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius is some super dope energy, because Aquarius energy calls for you to be an individual. It calls for you to identify where in your life you need to break away from the status quo, where you need to create distance between certain people or certain situations, where you might need to embrace some other situations. Aquarius is kind of known for being rebellious. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is the only planet that actually sits sideways. Like, bump what you talking about. Aquarius is going to do what Aquarius feels and knows is best for Aquarius to do. All right. And this is a time in our moon phase where Aquarius energy is waxing, meaning it is time for, we're increasing, moving into the full moon. Aquarius energy is increasing. It is time for you to be intentional in identifying areas where you need to step outside of the box. You have unique skills. Everybody's energy is different. Like, nobody, you will hear me say in the birth analysis or birth chart videos, nobody has the exact same birth chart as you. Just like no one has the same fingerprint as you. You are unique. You are intended to be here for a reason. Aquarius is the time where you need to step up and say, hey, this is what I am here to do. These are skills that I bring to the table, and I'm going to put it out there regardless of the challenges that are in front of me. A good example of that is teaching is something that does come natural to me, usually. Understanding energetic and spiritual ideas and concepts and making them make sense in a very present modern time is something that I am skilled at. All right. However, as I have sat down to do this video, I have started it and stopped it maybe 6 times already. This time I just said, look, we just finna go with it. It just is what it is. I'm going to push through the obstacles that I'm experiencing in recording this video, and I'm going to get this information out there because that's what I am intended to do. So this is me tapping into my Aquarius energy and saying, look, or the universal Aquarius energy that is available to me, because the moon is in Aquarius right now. Now, we will talk more about birth charts. I don't have Aquarius in my birth chart. However, I have 4 children that do have Aquarius in their birth chart. Okay, so it is still important for me to be aware of Aquarius energy. But even at that, even though it's not in my birth chart directly, the moon is currently in Aquarius. I have a direct connection to the moon. The moon is directly connected to my energy. Therefore, I have the capacity to tap into that Aquarius energy right now. And it would benefit me. It would benefit the plants that I intend to bring me a harvest for me to utilize this energy, push past obstacles, and nurture what I know are natural gifts for myself. Okay? Waxing in Aquarius is where we are right now. In a few days, we're going to be in another full moon. And that full moon is going to be in Aries. All right? I do have Aries in my chart. So we're talking some big energy. And just like, that's tight. Just like every zodiac sign, there are, I don't want to say pros and cons, but there are. It's duality in everything. Okay, so there's light that comes from these signs. There's also darkness that can potentially come from these signs. Your intention and the choices that you make really really determine the difference and what to expect. So as the full moon is coming up, that means the moon is going to be 100% illumination, at 100% illumination. And its position is going to be in Aries. Aries is the beginning of the zodiacs. It's ruled by the head. It's the beginning. You can actually think of the zodiacs. Obviously, zodiacs are personified characteristics. All right. They give personified characteristics, and it literally starts from the head and it goes all the way down to the feet. Pisces being the feet. I believe Pisces is ruled by, the feet and the lymphatic system. Look, I have broken down all of this information as simplistically as I possibly can. I've created charts to assist me because it is a lot of information. These charts will be available to anybody that's interested in tapping into the information. But yeah, shameless plug, I guess. No, if you see me looking over, it's because I'm going back to my charts to ensure that I'm giving the information I intend to give. So yes, Aries, the beginning of the zodiacs, the beginning of technically the new year begins around March or April. That is the time of spring equinox. Okay, that is the time where we're moving out of winter and into the spring season, new beginnings, things of that nature. That's Aries, the beginning, like brand new. It goes all the way down through Pisces, which is about February to March. Okay, and again, Aries the head, Pisces the feet. You have to go through full maturity. It's a holistic walk here. Check out the other videos that I have posted and will be posting as far as breaking down the astrology wheel and things of that nature. Try to make it make a little bit more sense. But anyway, try to stick to this. A lot of information. Full moon in Aries. Aries is the head. So when you think Aries, you can think leadership. You can think going for it. Aries is fire energy. So passion, creativity, force. With fire energy, you can either purify something or you can burn some shit up, depending on how you use that energy, just being honest. So positives in Aries energy, it's the time where you need to be strongly self-directed. Aries in your chart, or Aries energy in general, is a time when we need to identify at what point in our lives do we need to take action, take charge, decide, and make a move. Like, not just sit and think about it and ponder and analyze and yada, yada, yada. No, Aries energy is it's time to move. It's time to to do some stuff. Aries energy can also be a time and a space in your life where you need to practice a little bit more patience. If you think about the beginning and brand new, you think about babies and toddlers and how they really don't care about anybody's feelings. They really don't care about nothing but what's on their mind. If they're determined to climb on the back of the couch, climbing on the back of the couch is what's going to happen. And anything that comes in the way is going to get dealt with. Okay? That can be a good energy to possess when it's directed intentionally. But if unintentionally operating in this energy, it could lead you to being somewhere you don't intend to be to. All right? So, anything else about Aries energy I want to share? Aries are known as starters. They don't typically like taking advice. And they grow tired pretty easily. Aries tend to be self-directed, even if the destination is unknown. Okay, it's the time for you to take action and move forward. It's a full moon in Aries, which means a time of celebration, a time of gratitude, because there's some fruit that you will be experiencing or reaping or not. Remember, this is a cycle, and there was a time for you to plant seeds in Aries. This is the time to get fruit. So my encouragement is, as we are in Aquarius, jump in and be intentional right now with the Aquarius energy that's available. Aquarius tend to think about emotions more so than feel it. Aquarius tend to be way more analytical. Aquarius is an air sign, actually. So super logical, super like, this is a time for you to sit down and identify where you are in your cycle. And when the full moon comes up, you'll be able to say, oh, I didn't mean to have this, or hey, this is what I got. Either way, you show gratitude. You express gratitude for where you are, and you decide where you're going to go moving forward. Once you show gratitude and celebrate the fruit coming into maturity, you move into a season of harvesting where you can decide what it is you're taking with you and what it is you're going to discard. And then you're going to come to a season of actually releasing it and being intentional and not starting a new cycle with that again. Okay, and then you're going to move into another new moon. And the next new moon that we're going to be moving into is in Scorpio. Okay. I'm going to break down these moon phases probably on a regular basis. So to try to keep this simple, we're currently waxing in Aquarius. The moon is currently waxing in Aquarius. We're moving towards a full moon in Aries. Now is the time for you to identify where you are in the universal system that you were born into. Stop trying to force shit and make it happen on your timing. Stop trying to be so arrogant and the know-it-all. And submit and surrender to the natural universal energies that are you. Like, there's a part of you that wants control, and you want shit when you want it and how you want it, not realizing there is a system already in place. Now, there are moments where you got to buck the system. That's just a part of life. But you need to identify whose system it is that you're bucking. Decide which system it is you're going to operate in. Personally, I'm not operating in anybody's system. I'm operating according to natural law. The sun is in Libra. The moon right now is waxing in Aquarius. All right. I'm tapped into my Libra energy, which actually is my sun sign. So it's like big energy right now. A lot of shit going on with me right now. But I'm also identifying what's going on with the moon. I'm also identifying where are the other planets right now. Because each planet, each moon, each star has a gravitational pull. And that gravitational pull has an impact on Earth. Wherever it is in its orbit around the sun right now, that energy has a direct impact on Earth energy. Therefore, it is relevant to who you are, to what's going on in your life, to where you intend to go. Like, these things are super significant in living and in being. So it's not just about, let me get up and go to do this job that, like, I have a degree. I have a degree in psychology and human relations. My minor is in biblical studies. I have a lot of different work experience. Right now, working a job is not beneficial for me. It is not conducive to who I was destined and designed to be. And anytime I try to go and work a job to try to make shit easier for myself, I typically make shit a lot more difficult for myself. But when I operate on my path in whom I intend and who I was intended to be, provision is something that literally comes to me. Feel how you want to feel about that. Think how you want it. Like, take that. However, I've been called spoiled. I've been called a whole lot of stuff, actually, from people that were really close to me that I really cared about. Because they didn't understand, because they don't understand universal alignment. And as much as they want to talk about me for making certain choices for myself and for my family, look at the fruit in your own life and go from there. Because these very people that have something negative to say about how I'm living my life, I guarantee you, they ain't living lives I have a desire to live. They not setting examples I desire to follow in. But that's me and my situation. I've chosen to be an individual. I've chosen to be who I was intended to be. I healed myself in a lot of areas and cleared a lot of bullshit so that I could identify who it was I'm supposed to be versus who I was. And I put myself in a position to be Kristen with a D, not anybody else. Whatever comes with that. Kristen is a mother. Kristen is a sister. Kristen is a daughter. Kristen is a teacher. Kristen is a medium. Kristen is an energy healer. Kristen is, like, there's a lot that comes with being Kristen. Being Kristen works for me on a whole bunch of different levels versus being who somebody else desires or needs me to be for their own convenience. The world would want me to go and work as a DCS caseworker because I have the qualifications to go get on at DCS in a heartbeat if I chose to. The system wants me to go and spend 40 plus hours nurturing and taking care of somebody else's children while I put my children in somebody else's care. That's what the world wants me to do. That's not who Kristen was intended to be. Therefore, I homeschool my children. And this isn't knocking anybody that has chosen to put their kids in school or look, you identify where you are on your path. I'm not here to judge your path. Until you put it in front of me, like to have a conversation about, I'm not here to pass judgment on anybody. The only judgment I would pass is, are you doing what is most fulfilling for you, or are you doing what's most convenient for you? And even that, I ain't going to judge it. I'm just going to ask you that question. You have to decide because you know what's going on in your life. So, know you so that you can heal you in the areas of your life that's broken, so that you can mature you in the areas of your life that is lacking, so that you can be you unapologetically, holistically. Like, for me, nothing else is more important than being holistically healthy and being authentically and unapologetically Kristen. Nothing else is more important. Provision, like I said, it comes. Peace, psh, got that. And even in the times where I don't feel it, I know exactly how to tap into the natural energy around me so that I can replace whatever low vibing feeling I'm experiencing with a higher vibing experience. Like, I have the control and the power and the authority to do that. I don't have to sit in depression. Yes, I cannot control a lot of the bullshit that has happened to me. A lot of shit that you grow up with that, you know what I'm saying, you don't necessarily want to take into adulthood. Like, you can't control a lot of stuff that has happened to you. You can't control a lot of your experiences of the past. You most certainly can't change anything from the past. You can take responsibility for yourself today. You are responsible for yourself today. Somebody might have hurt you in the past. They might have done that, but guess what? You're responsible for your healing. You can't wait on them to come and want to offer you healing for the stuff that they messed up. Most of the time, hurt people hurt people. They don't even know what they did wrong. Forgive them and identify what you're going to need in order to move forward. And as you're moving forward, tap into the natural energy that's already available to you. We're talking about moon phases. We're talking about moon energy. The very same moon that controls the tides. And your body is 70+% water. There's water in your blood. There's water in there's water in the air that you breathe. Like, there's water like everywhere. There's water throughout your system. You're 70+% water. If the moon can control the tides, what makes you think the moon's energy does not have an impact on you? Let's start tapping into this Aquarius energy and thinking outside of the box that you were put in. Somebody put you in a box because it's more convenient for them for you to be controlled over here than for you to be in your natural power. Natural power. You are of the earth. You are the earth. You are water, earth, fire, and air. All of that. The elements. You are. That's powerful. That has the potential. That has the potential to clear paths. The elements. They have the potential to clear paths. They have the potential to nurture and usher in new life. The elements. Tap in. Know you. Heal you. Love you. You love yourself by taking responsibility for yourself. And then you be you. Holistically, authentically, unapologetically. My name is Kristen with a D, for those that aren't familiar with me. And until next time, peace, light, and love.